आप लोग बहुत लकी हो यार, मैं बड़ा जेलस फील कर रही हूँ आप लोगों से। इनफैक्ट मैं ही नहीं, पूरे देश के स्टूडेंट्स जेलस फील कर रहे होंगे, पूरी दुनिया के स्टूडेंट्स जेलस फील कर रहे होंगे, क्योंकि आपको ये मौका मिल रहा है सहवाग इंटरनेशनल स्कूल में। तो सबसे पहले हिप हिप हुर्रे फॉर सहवाग इंटरनेशनल स्कूल, हिप 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 हिप। It's an honor that both of you are here and all of us have been waiting for this moment. So before we start the question answer, सबसे पहले मैं आप ही से पूछना चाहूंगी माही, how is the energy, how is the feeling that you're here?
A very good afternoon to all of you. मैं खड़ा हो जाता हूँ नहीं तो पीछे वालों को नहीं दिखेगा. So very good afternoon. I was supposed to come here, I think more than a year back, but क्रिकेट के कारण और पर्सनल शेड्यूल के कारण मुझे यहाँ आने का मौका नहीं मिल पा रहा था. तो फाइनली इस बार वीरूपा ने बोला थर्ड यू हैव टू कम. सो आई वाज लाइक थर्ड को मैं डेफिनेटली यहाँ पे आऊँगा. सो इट्स अ प्लेजर बीइंग हियर. स्कूल मेरे, आई ऑलवेज फेल्ट, मैं जिस समय स्कूल में था वो मेरा बेस्ट पीरियड था लाइफ में, क्योंकि स्कूल इज वन प्लेस वेयर यू डोंट हैव अ लॉट ऑफ टेंशन. आई नो विद द modern academics and pressure of the parents and the teachers, you know, there's pressure, career oriented हो गए लोग बहुत ज़्यादा, but school is one place where you can have a lot of fun. You know, it's one place where you can study, you can at the same time enjoy the sports, be a bit mischievous, you know, teachers are also considered बच्चा है, गलती हो गई, you know, all of that happens. But I always felt school was the best time of my life. It was the place where I started playing sport. It was the place where I was very sincere about my studies, and I always felt this was one space where, you know, you make a lot of friends and, you know, somehow you always stay in touch with them. You know, there's something very genuine about a school. So I always felt it was the most special time of my life, and to me it was more till class 10. 11th 12th में लोग, you know, you have to choose your stream, commerce, arts, जो भी आपका स्ट्रीम हो उसके हिसाब से, देन यू हैव टू पुट इन अ लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट. कॉलेज का प्रेशर होता है कि मुझे अगर अच्छे मार्क्स नहीं आए, अच्छा ग्रेड नहीं आएगा तो, यू नो, आई हैव ट्रबल गेटिंग इनटू अ गुड कॉलेज. सो ऑल ऑफ दैट हैपेंस, बट यू नो, whenever I come or go to any school, you know, even when I go to my school, you know, all the memories are so fresh. Of course, a lot of teachers have retired. अभी मैं जब अपने स्कूल जाता हूँ तो काफ़ी टीचर्स हैं जो रिटायर हो गए, बट 4-5 टीचर्स हैं जो उस समय भी थे और अभी भी थे. जस्ट एक फ्लैशबैक में आप चले जाते हो एंड यू एक्चुअली रील द मोमेंट. सो माय स्कूल वाज वेरी नाइस. इतना अच्छा लगता, पर यू नो, माय स्कूल वाज वेरी गुड.
Definitely. So once again, can we have a round of applause for Ms. Dhoni? तालियां बंद करने का मन नहीं कर रहा था. अच्छा, क्वेश्चन आंसर शुरू करते हैं. तो आप में से किसी के मन में अगर सवाल है, श्योर बहुत सारे सवाल होंगे, तो यू कैन जस्ट रेज योर हैंड एंड वी कैन जस्ट पास ऑन द माइक इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चंस. वी हैव हैंड्स.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Varsha of class 10, and my question to you is, as students, how do we handle failure, and also how do we deal with the fear of failure?
You know, often we make it sound very complex, especially when you are in school. What's the most important part? I feel often we talk about result, but what we have to realize is result, what you get is because of the effort that you have put in. What I mean is the preparation, and that's where I felt how sincere you are in class and how much you are studying each and every day and how you are revising. You know, that actually gives you the result. So result, I feel I was never bothered about the result. You know, मैं जब क्लास 12th का एग्जाम दे रहा था, so I had matches. तो मुझे रांची के बाहर जाना था, मैच खेल के वापस आना था. So I was very hesitant, you know, to go to my dad and tell him that, you know, in between the board exam I'm going for matches. Somehow मैंने मम्मी को बोला, मम्मी प्लीज आप कुछ बोलो ये वो. So finally I went to my dad and I told him this is what it is and I have to go and play matches in between. And he was like, okay, it's okay, you can go and play. तो मुझे मतलब I couldn't digest it कि इतने आसानी से कैसे मान गया. So he gave a very a one-line statement. What he said was कि अगर साल भर तुमने पढ़ाई की होगी तो एक दिन से फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, अगर तुमने साल भर पढ़ाई नहीं की होगी तो भी एक दिन से फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. So basically it's you have to break down your whole curriculum. There's a reason why you have periods in class. एक period का span maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes or an hour, but there's a reason why it is held that way. So when you are very attentive in class, first of all, जब first time आपको teacher जो पढ़ा रहा होता है, you are absorbing a lot, and that is the platform, क्योंकि that's the first time you are seeing it happen, the teachers are trying to explain it and all of that. So I always felt being attentive in class was very important because that actually helped me study better. That gave me that extra time to enjoy myself. स्पोर्ट्स में काफ़ी बार हमें लगता है कि यार ठीक है बाद में हम पढ़ लेंगे, एक महीना पढ़ाई कर लेंगे, बट आई ऑलवेज फेल्ट इट वाज मच ईजियर इफ आई एम इन द क्लास. इफ आई एम लेट्स से वी हैड 8 periods, so if I am supposed to sit there for 8 periods, it's better for me if I'm trying to understand each and everything that my teacher is explaining, because if I understand at that point of time, it will be easier for me to revise when I go back home or when I prepare for the exam. So I always felt the best time to learn was when the teacher is explaining. The teacher has the experience. Let's say कोई teacher है, she or he is doing the job for 10 years. Every year, he or she is explaining the same thing to the new batch. So with experience, they also get better and better. So that's where you don't have to worry about the result. You only have to worry about the process. अगर मैंने पढ़ाई नहीं की होगी तो मैं कितना भी सोच लूँ रिजल्ट के बारे में, I won't get a good result unless I'm a genius, which most of us are not. Only few percent in the world are considered genius. But I always felt never to focus on the result, always the process that is more important. It makes life very easy. I was never a brilliant student. मेरा जो शेड्यूल था, स्पेशली जब मैंने क्रिकेट स्टार्ट कर दिया, I used to get up 5:30 to 5:45, summer or winter depending on that. Straight away on the bed from 5:45 to let's say 6:30 I would study. After that I will freshen up, have my breakfast. I would leave for school by 7:15, 7:20, school pass में था. 7:40 prayers started, 1:30 the school gets over. So that was the time I used to study. फिर जब क्रिकेट खेलने लगा तो I couldn't come back and study. I would come back, change, go back for practice. Now I would study for maybe 2.5 hours or 2 hours in the evening, followed by dinner, and the same schedule I followed. As I said, I was not brilliant. Even in exam, I used to go and play. 4 o'clock was my play time. And I got 66% in 10th, I got 56% in 12th. Don't even ask me my attendance in class 12th because it was so bad. My dad thought कि ये तो fail ही होगा. So he was very happy that I got second division. But again, as I said, I never had to put in those extra 4 or 5 hours before my first term, mid-term or the final term because I was very attentive in class. And I feel this is the period because as of now, I don't know, all of you who are sitting there, you may have a next Virendra Sehwag sitting there. You may have a next Sachin Tendulkar sitting there. Or you may have the next APJ Abdul Kalam. This is the place where you get to know what you are good in. So if you are only studying, not following sport, you may lose a very good cricketer or a very good hockey player or a very good football player. So this is the time you have to study hard, but at the same time play a lot of sport because you don't actually know what future holds for you. And let's say for example, अगर मैं स्कूल में क्रिकेट नहीं खेल रहा होता या दूसरे स्पोर्ट नहीं खेल रहा होता, मुझे कभी पता ही नहीं चलता कि मैं क्रिकेट खेल सकता हूँ कि नहीं. So then the next question was fear of failure. Fear of failure, again as I said, the moment you get into those thoughts, it's difficult to come out. But what's important again is what I answer, the process, the whole process. If you're confident that you have studied, you know if some question will be asked, I know the answer. And that's the kind of confidence you need to have. You only try to control the controllables. जैसे हम क्रिकेट में बोलते थे कि यार तुम्हारा सिलेक्शन नहीं हुआ. सिलेक्शन इज नॉट माई जॉब. सिलेक्टर सिलेक्ट करते, मेरा काम है आई हैव टू परफॉर्म वेल. जो भी मुझे मैचेस मिलेंगे आई हैव टू परफॉर्म I have to do practice every day, be fit, so that I'm performing, so that I'm pushing the selectors to select me. But selection is not my job. So I was never worried that I didn't get selected. क्योंकि वो मेरा काम नहीं था. Somebody else this job, and it was not really in my hands. You know, let's say I can study for 2 hours, I can study for 4 hours, I can play for 2 hours, 4 hours. That's something that is in my hand. So always try to control the controllables. Let's not think about the selector didn't select me. You always have to look at the positive. So don't say, okay, no, I was good enough, but they didn't select me. What you have to think is, maybe there was something that was not up to the mark. And in that process, you try to make yourself better. Because the moment you start cribbing about life, you know, it's the easier thing to do. जैसे ही कोई कुछ बोले कि क्या हुआ, सर मेरी तबीयत खराब थी, मेरा ऐसा हो गया, मेरा वैसा. So you start giving a lot of excuses. Life is not about excuses. It's all about when you fall down, stand up, start all over.
Thank you, sir.
कितने बच्चों ने MS धोनी देखी है? ये सब बातें उस MS धोनी मूड में है जो आज ये कर रहे हैं. थैंक यू.
माही आ गए हैं और माही छा गए हैं, और सिर्फ क्रिकेट के स्टेडियम में ही नहीं, यहाँ पे भी जवाबों से भी मार रहे हैं. अच्छा, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन अगेन एक और सवालों की छड़ी लगने वाली है. माही आज.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Varun of class 11th Commerce, and I've been in the school for past 3 years. And my question to you is that you have had so many wonderful cricketing moments. What are your best two?
What are my favorite moments?
Yes.
It's very difficult, you know. I'm 81 born, so I'm 35, 36. So my answer is, you know, you can't ask a father who is your favorite child. All these moments is something that, you know, as cricketers we all love. Without the team, we couldn't have achieved what we did. So we had a plan that this is something we want to achieve in the next few years. And the good thing was, the whole team, we committed to it. You know, it was not as if those 5, 6 or 7 years we only won tournaments. You know, there were phases where we lost. There were phases when our experienced players, they got injured, so some youngster had to come in. And, you know, the process starts again. So it's very difficult to pick and choose, you know, because to be the best test team, it's not about winning one test match. It's about, you know, playing consistent cricket for a period of 3 to 4 years. फिर वो reflect करता है आपकी ranking में. And it's not only cricket. You have to be fit. And it's not only about one individual. You know, everybody needs to be on the same page. That, from my side, I will give that extra 10%. You know, I will control my diet. I'll try to do a bit more when it comes to training. I'll be very sincere in practice. And once all of those things get aligned, then you get the kind of result that we got. So I feel I won't pick one of them, but in cricket, World Cup is said to be the ultimate thing. So 2011 World Cup, if I have to pick one, I would say the 2011 World Cup, because it was held in India. There was a lot of pressure on us, क्योंकि हम कहीं पे भी जाते थे ना, one thing, sir, World Cup जीतना है. So we wanted to have fun with it, because अगर हम लोग seriously इस बारे में सिर्फ सोचते रहते तो pressure और बढ़ जाता. So we started asking questions. Okay, why we should win the World Cup? And all of them had one common answer. India में हो रहा है. And the history said a host country has never won the World Cup. So, you know, it was a very interesting phase. And I felt that was the phase where, you know, the players actually gave more than 100%. And because of that, we won. There was a very interesting thing. हम लोग मोहाली में we were supposed to play against Pakistan World Cup semi-final. So हम एयरपोर्ट में उतरे, हम लोग बाहर जा रहे थे, तो गेट पे CISF का एक जवान खड़ा था. So we were about to go in, like, सर इनसे जीतना है. बोला क्यों? बोला फाइनल आप हार जाओ, वी डोंट केयर, पाकिस्तान से जीतना है. आई डिडंट से मच, कि सेम ही चीज चल रहा था. ऑलमोस्ट ऑल द एयरपोर्ट होटल सेम क्वेश्चंस वर आस्क्ड. देन वी वन द सेमीफाइनल एंड वी वर कमिंग बैक. अब हम मुंबई जा रहे हैं एंड दैट सेम गाय इज एट द गेट. साहब फाइनल जीतना है. मैं बोला आपने 3 दिन पहले कुछ और बोला. बोला देखो सर, इनको सेमीफाइनल हराया, उसके बाद फाइनल नहीं जीते तो क्या फायदा? So it was very interesting, but you have to see the emotion. You know, what he wanted was for the country to win. And that's what, you know, really pushed us more. We said, okay, we'll be the first team to win the World Cup as a host. So that was the ultimate thing. But overall, without the kind of team we had, and without the kind of individuals who were part of the team and the support staff, it would have been very difficult to achieve what we did. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Can we have the next question, please? Can we get the mic?
A very good afternoon, sir. I am Preeti of class 12 Commerce. This is my 6th year in the school. And my question for you is, आपका favorite school life moment that you cherish till date?
हमारे स्कूल लाइफ में ना there were a lot of moments. हमारे स्कूल में somehow I found my school as very interesting. We had the primary side, बीच में secondary था, then we had the senior secondary. All of them were interconnected. All the buildings had two axes. दो staircase होते थे, एक इस तरफ, एक इस तरफ. So somehow it was very interesting. You know, the first class I bunked was after class 10. उसके पहले मैंने आज तक मुझे पता भी नहीं था कि bunking क्या होता है. So the first class I bunked was after class 10. And I always felt it was, you know, the competition period. हमारे वहाँ annual sports होता था, which was December. But throughout the year, we had a lot of events that were planned. You know, right from basketball, football, we had cricket, of course. Those sports were there. We had badminton, table tennis, even carom ka bhi hota tha. So that period was very interesting because you want to be at the top. We had 4 houses. I think it's quite similar over here also. We had 4 houses and the competition was always there. We had music competition also, essay, debate, सब कुछ होता था. Then the most interesting part was the march past because you used to get 2 periods off where you have to practice your march past. So when you cross each other, let's say the yellow house was passing the Rajendra house, you know, yellow against red. So they would start shouting more. So I always felt that was a very interesting period because you knew the guys who are part of that column are the friends that you have. Lunch में you are sitting together, but that competition उस समय कि मुझे अच्छा करना है, मुझे अच्छा करना है, and the right spirit was there. So I always felt that period was very interesting. And then competing in the track and field events. 3 days we had annual sport just before the winter vacation. So that was the most interesting. And of course, there were hundreds of naughty things that we did in class. But again, as I said, you know, there's always a boundary that you're not supposed to cross. So we always were within that boundary, which I felt was very important.
Thank you, sir.
Lovely. As we move forward, I also want to request Veeru to say something about MS. How is it?
They are my children. So whenever I come here, I talk to them and I spend time. Now this is the time, you know, they have to ask MS. I'll tell you one story. MS is such a good leader कि जब हम लोग न्यूजीलैंड में खेलते थे, he make sure that कि वीरूपा जो गाना सुनते हैं ना, वो गाना ड्रेसिंग रूम में बजना चाहिए. Not वीरूपा, even गौतम गंभीर और सचिन तेंदुलकर, उनके फेवरेट गाने कौन से हैं वो बजने चाहिए ताकि वो खुश रहेंगे तो अच्छा परफॉर्म करेंगे टीम के लिए. सो ये क्वालिटी है कि लुक आफ्टर ईच अदर. दैट व्हाट आई लर्न फ्रॉम एमएस कि हम अगर एक दूसरे की सहायता करेंगे या उनको खुश रखेंगे तो बेहतर रिजल्ट आएंगे.
Wow. Not just in terms of a player, but also you can just make out कि दिल से कितने गजब इंसान हैं. दोनों ही जो हमारे सामने यहाँ पे खड़े हैं और दोनों लिविंग लेजेंड्स हैं. एक बार फिर से ऐसी ताली हम बजाते हैं जो कि धोनी ने जब 2011 में जिस तरह से बॉल उड़ाई थी और बिल्कुल बाउंड्री के बाहर गई थी ना श्रीलंका के अगेंस्ट. एक बार हो जाए वैसी ताली. 3, 2, 1. Nobody wants to stop here. Nobody wants to stop here. Dhoni, 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 Dhoni.
एक स्कूल में, you know, 6th to 10th we were one batch. So somehow हमारे क्लास में ना we had a lot of students in one class. यहाँ पे कम स्टूडेंट है. हमारे में my roll number was 50 something. So काफी लोग थे, and 7th में ऐसा हुआ कि we had girls sitting on the right, boys sitting on the left. So somehow जब सब बैठ जाते हैं, I was like सब बैठ जाएंगे, then we'll pick a seat. Somehow सब कुछ होने के बाद 2 सीट बचे, and those 2 seats were in the girls' column. So me and my friend from 7 till 10 we used to sit right in the middle of the girls, you know, the second last bench. So हमारा rotation चलता था, but so हम लोग बैठते थे second last bench पे, and then rotation जो भी होता, but all the tiffin वो हमारे desk के नीचे होते थे, and the teacher never suspected anything bad from us. क्योंकि आधी बार तो ना गर्ल्स ही कंप्लेन कर रहे थे, मैडम ये कुछ कर रहा है. So you know, that was also a fun part, and I felt that was interesting also, because usually ऐसा होता नहीं है. You know, it just happened by chance, and you know, those 4 years were a lot of fun. You know, decorating for the Teachers' Day or the Children's Day and all of that. So you know, very interesting phase of life.
I can see you getting a little nostalgic. We here, all of us are actually. So can we have another question? Maybe the last one from the students. Who's the lucky one? Can you pass on the mic, please?
Good afternoon, sir. I am Rajveer Singh from class 10, and the question is that, as a leader, how do you handle different talents?
I think in our case, the number of people we have to take care of is less. You know, it's numbered. It may be 15. It may go up to 25, 27 or 30. But what's important is to understand the individual. You know, one thing doesn't work for everyone. And when it comes to the Indian cricket team, it's more like a tailored construction. You know, everything is made to measure type. So it's very important to understand each and every individual, what his strength is, what his weaknesses are. You know, in a time of need, when is the right time and what is the right approach. That all really matters. So, you know, I did spend a lot of time understanding the individual, and I always felt one-on-one interaction was much better than, you know, making 4 of them sit together and having a conversation. Because, you know, I always felt, you know, with us, one of the major difficulties was for us to come forward and say, you know, this is something that we are facing. You know, this is my weakness. So what we tried to do was, we could figure out the weaknesses, and we used to do a lot of drill about that particular weakness, and we never used to tell the individual. Let's say मेरा cover drive में problem था. So, you know, Gary would go to the player and he'll always talk about the positives. Oh, you play late, आप ऐसा करते हो, वैसा करते हो, these are the good things. But when he would go for throwdown, he would only work on cover drive. So he's working on the weakness and he's not even telling the individual. So that's how, you know, we tried to figure out ways that work the best. And I felt what we also tried to do was, rather than asking everyone to be the same, we said all different characters are very important in a team. क्योंकि एक टीम का कैरेक्टर तब बनता है जब 15 लोगों का सपोर्ट स्टाफ का कैरेक्टर एक साथ मिक्स होता है. If all of you are the same, then the character of the team will be the same. So it will be like salt and थोड़ा सा हल्दी, उसके अलावा कुछ नहीं है दाल में. But you want that तड़का also. So we understood that, okay, these are the special things. The weaknesses, we kept working on it, but we wanted individuals to harness their special qualities that they had. If somebody was good under pressure, we tried to use him under pressure. We also work, you know, so somehow that if there's less pressure also, he goes there and he enjoys himself and he does well. But every individual, as I said, is different. Some work very well under pressure. Some don't work very well when there's no pressure on them. Then there's other mix also involved. So we figured out what role was suited best for the individual, and we always try to, you know, give him that opportunity where he's at the best when it comes to his positive state of mind. And that really worked for us. So, you know, knowing the individual is very important. If you're sitting in class, you should know the guy or the girl sitting next to you, what is special about him or her, what are the challenges. And it teaches a lot about learning, because in society you meet a lot of people, you interact with a lot of people, so you are always absorbing. You know, a good suggestion or a good advice can come from anyone. So you always have your ears open. You know, with your eyes closed also you can manage, but always have your ears open.
Wow, Mahi just mentioned Gary. So वैसे भी हमारे कल्चर में, हमारी परंपरा में गुरु का या टीचर का बहुत ही अलग महत्व है. गुरु गोविंद दोनों खड़े काकी लागू पाए, बलिहारी गुरु आपने गोविंद दियो बताए. तो यहाँ पे हमारे स्टाफ मेंबर्स भी है, हमारी टीचर्स भी है. मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी अगर आपके मन में भी कोई सवाल है आप पूछ सकते हैं. माही यहाँ पर है.
Good afternoon, sir. Myself, Deepak Sharma. I'm teaching accountancy in senior classes. And my question to you, sir, is after continuously achieving success, what should one do to keep motivating oneself?
Different things motivate different people. ये एक सवाल मेरे से पूछा जाता था कि आप जब कैप्टन थे तो ये वन द वर्ल्ड कप, टेस्ट में नंबर 1 and all of that. I said, my motive is to do well for my country. For me, cups were not important. For me, being part of the team and doing well for the country was very important. So similarly, you will have to figure out as an individual what is your motivation. As I said, people get motivated for different things. Let's say as a teacher you have served for 10 years. What is your motivation? Your motivation should be every year I'm teaching so many students because of which they are going ahead in life and they are doing something very special, because of which on a lot of individuals, because studies has an impact on the parents. How the student is studying, it has an impact on the parents. In future, what kind of a job he gets. It's all because of the understanding how easy you are making it for them to understand the difficult part. So motivation can be very different for different people. But I feel as a teacher, the biggest motivation, if I was a teacher, this would be my biggest motivation. Educating the students about the important things in life, and it's not only about the books. It's about the small things that really matter in life. Respect to the elders, respect others. How you need to speak about things, and I feel these small things really matter in life. Thank you, sir.
Phenomenal, isn't it? How can someone be so perfect and so good everywhere? अच्छा, एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन है, तो सॉरी ये लास्ट क्वेश्चन बोल रही हूँ, बट हर चीज का एक टाइम होता है, so we must respect that. Last question, who is going to be the lucky one?
The youngest one.
Okay,
Yeah.
The youngest one. You can come in front.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Shana from class 8. Sir, I want to ask, when you were chasing 270 plus in the finals and the team lost 2 quick wickets, so you told UV to stop and you told yourself that you have to go and win the World Cup for the team. So, sir, what was in your mind that what will you do? Will you play a national game or you will first do defense then you will attack?
Actually, the answer is quite simpler. The question is tougher, but what I was thinking at that point of time was, what was the bowling line of the Sri Lankan team and what were their strengths. So at that point of time, if you see, they were playing with 2 off spinners. Suraj Randeep was there and Muralidharan was there. And I told myself, they are part of CSK. So I actually practiced more against them, and almost every day during that 60-day period. So I said, this is the time if I can go in. And I knew if Murli sir is bowling, we all call him Murli sir, huh? He's an amazing character. So if Murli sir is bowling, he bowls a normal off spin. If I hit it through mid-on, and if he bowls a dusra and if I hit it through mid-off, I will have the upper hand. Because he will think I am picking him up really well. Also, when I went into bat, there was a lot of dew. So that also made it slightly easy for me. But the calculations were very simple. Being a right-hander, it's considered it's slightly easy to play off-spinners. They had 2 off-spinners at that point of time. They had a part-timer, Dilshan, who was also an off-spinner. So I thought, it was the ideal time where, I can go in and once I'm set, I can play the big shots and take that pressure off. So in our world, we call it was simple tactical decision more than anything else. And it paid off. So, it was the right decision.
As we move forward, Mahi, आप यहाँ आए, सबको बहुत अच्छा लगा, and आपको बिल्कुल भी ये नहीं बोल सकते कि अब बस बहुत हो गया, क्वेश्चन बहुत हो गए। आप यहाँ आए, यहाँ की एनर्जी, यहाँ की जो वाइवेसिटी है, स्पेशली जो वीरू बाजी ने किया है, ये पूरा का पूरा इनिशिएटिव, इसके बारे में आपका क्या कहना है?
Well, I always felt, as I said, school is the most important part of life because this is the first place where you come and you make friends. आजकल of course you have what do you call it, preschool भी होता है, fun school and all, but the real friends that you make, after the first few years, primary के बाद, KG, LKG होता था, I don't know, different places have different names for it. So I feel after the class second is the time when you really make friends, you can understand each other, and at the same time, you need good facilities in school, and that's feel where I feel, Virupa has done a remarkable job, because school is a place where it's not only about studies. With him, of course, sports has to be a big part, but it's very nice to see all the sports being part of the school. But that's only one side. What he will need now is your participation. All of you, it can't be like, I love cricket, I'll only play cricket. School is a phase where you have to try each and every sport, and at the same time give time for studies. And I feel that's where this place will be special. And also to use the infrastructure properly, take care of the infrastructure, because this infrastructure won't be here only for you guys. You guys will start now, you will pass out, you will go through the ranks, new students will come in, so you have to make sure that it stays the way it is, and it will only be possible if all of you are taking care of it. So enjoy it, have a lot of fun. I feel time management is
but this time they didn't know that, and they were like thrilled to have you here and ask questions. So thank you very much, really appreciate from bottom of my heart. So, and on behalf of SIS also, thank you so much to coming here and spending time with us. And if you guys behave well, then only you'll get a click. Last time when Sachin Paji was there was little mismanagement. So if you behave well, then only you'll get a click, otherwise you will leave. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, थोड़ा जोर से बोलना था ना? Is that okay? Who wants a picture with Mahi? Raise your hands. Okay, everybody wants.
I think the way we did last time, class-wise, group-wise, how many? 5 groups. So if you come group-wise, stand here, and then Mahi will come and join you and give you a photo.